like to access the internet in flight? Well, all that connectivity is creating some issues for airlines and passengers. Here to tell us about it is Mary Kirby, CEO of the RunwayGirl Network. Thanks for joining us, Mary.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's start with where we are in terms of connectivity. Can you pretty much log on wherever you want when you're in flight now?
Well, in the United States, the majority of carriers are in the process of equipping their fleets or have equipped. So you have some carriers like Delta Airlines and Virgin America, American Airlines that are either full fleet on their mainline aircraft or nearly there. But really what's happening now is passengers like such heavy bandwidth functionality that some of these carriers are having to throw more connectivity systems at them. It's pretty amazing to watch.
You know, one thing that crops up in the headlines is use of social media. Is that one of the more common things people are doing? And then, you know, maybe tell some of the issues that can spark.
Yeah, absolutely. So the number one site that passengers go to is Facebook, according to Southwest Airlines. They said that's number one. After checking email, they go to Facebook and then Twitter. And that's what we're kind of seeing is that passengers are really jumping on social media in flight. And sometimes that means discussing their passenger experience on board the aircraft to their social network, which isn't always pleasant. So we're starting to see a lot of headlines now about, you know, incidences in flight that are being tweeted in real time.
So, Mary, with all this connectivity, what are airlines doing to respond when, you know, there are things going out in social networks that maybe they don't want to let pass without comment?
Well, they need to be very proactive, and a number of carriers are doing that right now, where they will be on social media and they will be responding in real time to passengers flying on their aircraft. Delta Airlines is a perfect example. They have a Twitter handle called Delta Assist, and they will assist you with issues whether you're on the ground or on board the aircraft.
So is it becoming kind of a real competitive issue for airlines? Are travelers making their decisions based on who can offer
Absolutely,
what service?
absolutely. It's become hugely competitive. And now the carriers realize that they need to have the latest and greatest systems. So for example, the likes of JetBlue Airways that recently launched a Ka-band satellite supported connectivity solution. It's a really high capacity service. It's really giving some of these other carriers something to think about because the passengers are reporting really strong connectivity and it becomes a competitive issue. And yes, passengers are booking their tickets now based on whether the flight is connected or not. And it's become really essential.
I guess for business travel too.
Absolutely, and particularly on the transcon routes, that's really, really hot. I wouldn't recommend anyone try to compete here in the near term on those transcon routes without having connectivity.
I see. And what about any kind of safety or regulatory issues? Is all this technology raising concerns?
Well, for instance, the Federal Aviation Administration last year did heighten its scrutiny of bird strike testing of the antenna radomes that are on top of the aircraft. I know it sounds like it's in the weeds, but it's actually quite important. That's the hump on top of the aircraft. They're flinging 4-pound chickens at these things to make sure that they don't break up in flight if they were hit by a bird. So that's actually stalling some of the connectivity programs, and it's making it even more competitive because the airlines then that are able to clear these certification hurdles and their connectivity providers then have a leg up on those that are a little bit slower. So that's another element, but the FAA is paying really close attention now to the connectivity coming to aircraft.